All right. We're in Game 3 of the Winners Bracket Semifinals here at Alberta Beatdown 2 with OverKlocked Gaming and Computers in Edmonton, Alberta. Only on iCCup TV on prodiG, and with me is Cirno. And this is, again, Game 3 of xSixMkengyn versus RevSaroVati from Rev here. We're going to be on NrG Metalopolis, Again, the teal Zerg here at the 9 o'clock position. RevSaroVati, the purple Protoss, down here at the 6 o'clock. Again, this is NrG's Metalopolis, not the ladder version, so you cannot spawn in the close-by ground position. So this map is essentially a 3-player map.
Which is why Mkengyn will be scouting RevSaroVati his very first attempt, and RevSaroVati will be doing the same, scouting Mkengyn. They will notice that these are close air positions, so that may vary their strategies just a little bit to include more drops, and maybe it'd be nice to see some Mutalisk harassment out of Mkengyn.
Definitely. So the probe is going to, again, immediately make its way into the base of Mkengyn. He's going to have a really good idea of when that pool and when that hatchery goes down. And since Mkengyn is already aware of the fact that they're in the close air positions, the rush distance on this rather than the cross positions is quite a bit shorter. So he's going to have to go for a little bit more of a defensive build. I definitely expect to see a pool shortly after this gas here rather than a hatchery.
Yeah, it looks like Mkengyn is doing the first thing he did the first game, the gas before the pool, which is, again, a very nice choice, as it does keep him a little bit safer against early pressure from the Protoss. We do see the RevSaroVati doing the same build he did the past 2 games, at least the same opener. We'll see if he does go into an expansion.
Yeah, again, with the very small rush distances on this map, and I'm pretty sure he's caught in wind of the fact that Mkengyn is somebody who will not let mistakes go unpunished. He's going to go for a pretty safe opening once again. This definitely seems to be the style that he likes to do. So we do see the Cybernetics core going down. I think he might have walled that in a little bit too tight. It's going to be kind of hard to... Oh, he's got a hole there at the bottom of the gateway.
And just a little note here, that Overlord Mkengyn has hovering over his second is actually a very nice little tactic there. Since the hatchery has very little range when it is building, the Overlord will provide a little bit of additional information in case RevSaroVati tries to do something sneaky like a cannon rush right next to the building hatchery.
Yeah, so with these 3 larvae that Mkengyn saved up while he was waiting for that spawning pool, he's going to be spending 2 of those on a pair of Zerglings, and then another drone here to throw down this hatchery. And we can see that, again, always waiting until he has those 4 Zerglings up to pick off that probe before he throws down that hatchery. He doesn't want to worry about pylons or any of those really frustrating shenanigans that can put players on tilt. I know Mr. Cirno here is somebody who has many nightmares of probes running around his hatcheries in Brood War.
Oh yes, but you do get used to it eventually, and it does not tilt you as much. So I'm pretty sure Mkengyn has played enough games to not let that bother him the slightest bit. He does get the sentry out, which is the telltale sign once again of a fast expansion. 3-gate fast expands are quite safe, as you do get quite a few sentries to stop from any potential Zergling run-bys.
Yeah, but we could see another 1-gate robo. Oh, and these Zerglings are actually going to be able to make their way into the base of RevSaroVati. He's going to be able to keep these running around. His speed finishes just in time, so he's going to be able to keep these alive for a pretty long time. He's going to actually get caught a little bit there by the sentries, take a little bit of damage. Some probes coming off the line to try and catch them. They're going to be a little bit too slow, and he's just going to run these around for as long as he possibly can to get a really good read on the build of RevSaroVati, and it does look like he is going to be going for the 3-gate expansion. We can see that he's got 2 gateways completed and a 3rd one on the way, hiding these Zerglings in the back here of the LOS, and he's actually going to be putting them in a little spot that you need to be standing, or he was going to put them in the spot you need to be standing right on top of to actually spot them. And they will get taken out.
Yeah, those Zerglings definitely did their job. They even forced out a force field, and when 3 Zerglings can force a sentry to force field, I think that's a 1 battle right there. We do see Mkengyn throwing down a Roach Horn, actually earlier than he usually does, so we may be seeing an even quicker Roach timing attack here.
Yeah, he's going to be looking like he might try to apply a little bit of pressure, or at least make his presence known on the map and keep the units off of the Xel'Naga Tower. 2 more Zerglings making their way across, but he is controlling his Xel'Naga Tower. And he sees an opportunity to go for a run by those units and get a little bit more scouting information, and he is going to take it. He wants to see if there's an expansion there. And the Zergling with the Nikes and 1 hit point He's going to make his way across the map and spot that Nexus just in time. So he knows exactly what's going on. He's got the Roach Warren complete. There's a few Roaches on the way. He wants to deal with this attack.
On another Zergling who's running around the main base of XeraVati. His MKengyn Zerglings are just doing work. Very nice there by MKengyn. He's actually forcing Warpins inside of XeraVati's main base, so that'll be 3 less Stalkers that he has to worry about for this attack that XeraVati's preparing for.
Yeah, XeraVati right now trying to apply a little bit of pressure and slow down the 3rd expansion of MKengyn as well as the economy. And as I say that, he makes 10 more drones, so he's completely confident in his ability to hold this attack off. But there are a lot of sentries here, and he's got a lot of force fields to work with. Spinecrawler's a little bit far back here. And with all of this wall and all of this stuff that XeraVati can be force fielding, this Spinecrawler could easily be out of this.
That is a lot of Protoss.
And the drones are going to come off the line right now. There are no Zealots here to make short work of these drones, and he is going to be able to get us around. A few more force fields are going to go down, and all these Roaches are stacked up. They cannot participate in this fight, and a lot of those drones are going to go down. Roaches finally going to be able to get out, but they have to run all the way around. And force field on top of the ramp. MKengyn in a lot of trouble right now. 10 Zerglings and 2 more Roaches on the way, but will it be enough to hold on? As there are more units being warped in from that pylon up on the high ground. Now the Roaches trying to make their way down, and there are no more sentries in this army, which means that MKengyn is going to be able to move freely. He has enough creep here to get all of the mobility he needs to defend this attack. Galil Reconstitution is on the way, and XeraVati, realizing that he's not going to be able to do the damage that he really wants to here, is going to set him a bit of a defensive position back at his natural expansion to safeguard him in the event that MKengyn decides to do something like an all-in counterattack.
Yeah, MKengyn did do a fairly good job of fighting that attack, even though he did get a little bit overzealous on the drones. It is 35 drones, 238 probes currently, though, so that's never really a great position for the Zerg to be in. He does have his lair, like you stated, and he is getting the Roach speed, and he is getting +1 melee, ranged attack for these Roaches, like we have seen in the past 2 previous games.
Yeah, a few sentries in this army hanging out over here outside of the natural expansion of MKengyn, but they don't really have a lot of energy for him to work with. And MKengyn is controlling this Xel'Naga tower. Is he close on? No. Good positioning here by XeraVati. He's got this pylon just outside of the range of that Xel'Naga tower. He's definitely played this game his fair share of times. And all of the Zerglings getting caught up top. He's going to be able to clean these up at the cost of a few Zealots and a few sentries here. It's a nice job to try and snipe off a few more of these units, especially after MKengyn's Zerglings have just giving him so much scouting information. Meanwhile, there's a probe scouting down this 3rd expansion, so both of these players have done a really good job of scouting the one another out throughout this match. There's really not been a missed beat here. These Roaches might get caught off guard here, but no force fields have been thrown down. They will be able to fall back to the creep to the defensive position here. A lot of Zealots, but not too many force fields. These Zealots are going to have a hard time closing the distance. Good micro by MKengyn is going to try and keep those Zealots off as long as he can, as those are the things that deal a ton of damage if they manage to get in there. Stalkers in the back are going to be able to do as much damage as they possibly can, but the Roaches around coming from that main base is going to mean that XeraVati is going to have to fall back to the corner here. A few more Stalkers coming in from the back, and MKengyn really has to try and consolidate his forces and do as much damage as he possibly can. Be as cost-effective as possible here.
This is not doing very well for MKengyn, but XeraVati has over 1,000 minerals banked, so he should be getting another expansion right now while he is putting pressure onto MKengyn here.
And he pulls the drones off the line, gets enough units out, and immediately sends them back. That is a mark of a good player, knows when he's got enough to win the fight. And now the Zealots are out. The Roach is all creeped. He does have Galil Reconstitution, and these Zealots are going to try to run away, but he does send a few of them off to their death. And MKengyn, realizing that he might have a bit of an advantage here, is going to go and try and press it. Maybe go on the hunt for that pylon. Really should be checking around up here to try and take that out. But now that he has Tunnel and Claws and Burrow completed, I think he's pretty confident in his ability to deal with any gateway unit threat.
I also really wish MKengyn would get back on his creep spread. It seems after he lost that tumor, he kind of just gave up and just doesn't really feel like linking his bases, which could actually hurt him later on in the game when the Protoss starts to move out all over the place.
Yeah, and now with the infestation pit on the way for MKengyn, he's going to be feeling pretty confident to move into the later stages of this game, as gateway units are not something that he's going to be too scared of. I'm really worried if we're going to see a repeat of Game 1 here. SaroVati really needs to get some Colossus or some Storms out on the field a little bit earlier than he did in that first match.
He's actually going for Zealot Charge, which is an interesting choice. Usually you see players go Blink against Roach, and xMkengyn does have a Roach Warren, an Infestation Pit, and Infestors absolutely destroy light units with Fungal Growth.
Yeah, SaroVati had a Nexus going down here at this third base, but it looks like he canceled it as xMkengyn scouted it out and might have thrown a few shots at it. We can see one of these Roaches' his animation is a little bit bugged here. It's just going to be sliding around the map. And these Roaches putting the pressure on here. Really can't use the Burrow to help him out a lot as there are these Photon Cannons here. But SaroVati just does not have the forces. As soon as he moves out, xMkengyn falls back and burrows and runs away. And he's got a ton of Zealots here. He's really just trying to buy himself enough time for that charge to finish so those Zealots can close the distance immediately. xMkengyn is going to burrow these Roaches, get their health regenerated, wait for the next engagement, but I don't think he is aware of the fact that there is charge on the way. He hasn't even seen the Twilight Council, so when this finishes and he goes in for another engagement, he's going to be quite surprised at what happened.
We will need an Observer up because I'm pretty sure he is using charge to try to get us around on those Roaches, but there is no Observer over his army, so if they burrow, that will be a pretty useless attempt.
Yeah, and the Observer is about 75% done. And he is definitely aware of the fact that Tunneling Claws are an upgrade that xMkengyn has access to. Throwing down a few cannons here at this third expansion, and xMkengyn being nice and moving a Roach away so that he can throw the Nexus down, keeping this Roach down here in the back so you can see when that expansion actually comes online. These charge lots are going to be trying to chase down these Roaches in the middle of the map. xMkengyn has realized that there's now an Observer in this army, so he has no choice but to fight, and these Zealots are doing an insane amount of damage. Back home, he's got a few Infestors. He's going to be bringing these forward, and SaroVati's just going to fall back now as he realizes that if he presses a little too far forward, he could be falling into a trap.
SaroVati does have a Dark Shrine on the way, which again is exceptionally nice late game versus Zerg to harass drones. xMkengyn is moving out here with his Roaches and his 4 Infestors, which will do quite well versus mostly light army of SaroVati.
Yeah, and now SaroVati gearing up to defend this attack. These Infestors are a little bit out of position, but there are no High Templar to do anything like a feedback here. So as long as xMkengyn's control is very strong, he should be able to make short work of these. If he lands the money, Fungals, these Zealots will not be able to do anything. Fungals the entire army. Infested Terran's going down all over the place. He's going to be able to focus down this Immortal very quickly. As you see, that's exactly what he's doing. The Hardened Shield's evaporating almost instantaneously. There goes the Immortal. Infested Terran's blowing up everything in sight, and this is an insane attack, but there is no detection here for xMkengyn. The Dark Templar are making short work of all of these units here. Really needs to get an Overseer over here. We can see one morphing right now. And the question is how far away is it? Will his army still be up in time for this Overseer to actually help him out? But he is just going to fall back. After taking out a pretty large chunk of buildings here, as well as the entire army, xMkengyn should just run these units away. There is the Overseer, so he's definitely completely confident with his ability to seal the deal right here and right now. He's going to pick off the Cybernetics core, and the Dark Shrine is currently unpowered. This natural expansion is in a lot of jeopardy. A few more units for SaroVati trying to make their way down to the bottom of this ramp. There's just not going to be enough. The supplies right now 170 to 35. There's the GG, and xMkengyn is going to take the series 2-1.